So now let me ask you something. Have you ever signed a contract that you don't even remember? Of course not, right? You will say, if I don't remember signing it, how would I be held accountable for my side of the contract? But now listen, what if the terms of that contract were written in your very nature? And what if the ink wasn't actually paper, or the ink wasn't written on paper, but the ink which was used to write that contract was your soul? That's what exactly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us in Surah Al-Araf in the 172nd ayah, where he says, Bana naqul a'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. Wa id akhadha rabbuka min bani Adam min duhurihim dhurriyatahum wa ashhadahum ala anfusihim alaystu bi rabbikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us he gathered all of us, yani all humanity, not metaphorically, not symbolically. He brought us forth from the back of Adam alayhi salam, the first human being. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made us, all of us, testify. First the question was, am I not your Lord? Alaystu bi rabbikum? Then we collectively, we replied, yes, we testify. And say, qalu bala shahidna, yes, we testify. Now, here is where it gets somehow uncomfortable. You don't remember that contract, and I obviously don't remember, and none of us do. But what does that mean? Does it really negate that it didn't happen? No. Because the truth, it's not something which is external out there which you have to look for. It's not a lesson which you missed at school or you missed somewhere in the mosque. It's something that's already within inside us. And that's the point which you have to understand. This isn't just a religious idea. It can even be made as a logical argument. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes two common excuses people make, or people will make in the day of judgment. What did they say? I didn't know. I wasn't there. Or our parents, or whatever our culture, society did this shirk, and we just followed. Now let me ask you, how many times have we used our culture, our family, and society to justify complicity in shirk? Allah is not making a statement here. Allah is building an argument. The first, every human being made a covenant with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that covenant is imprinted in our fitra, our innate nature of the human being. Then the external influences, they do not override what is already inside our innate nature. Hence the conclusion, no one can claim ignorance or blindly follow others in shirk. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even create an internal alarm inside us called the nafs lawama. Whenever someone does bad, there's that alarm that rings. Where did it come from? That's the innate nature. That's the covenant which was written, not through ink, but it was signed by our soul, our fitra. So, what makes more powerful is that there's no need for any emotional manipulation. It's just truth, and these are the consequences. And you know what's even scarier? You might think, well, that does not seem fair. Why should I be judged for a memory I don't have? Now let me flip the question. What if it's not just about memory? It's about recognition, recognizing that something is familiar. Like it's a face you have never seen before, but you know it when you look or when you meet someone. So, what shirk does, it makes us betray that covenant which we signed inside our fitra with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Something which you already know. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that in the day of judgment we'll end up denying and saying that we are unaware. But what's the denial? That inside our fitra there was some alarm that screamed loud that you are committing shirk remember the covenant which you signed with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even here, He's not scolding, He's just closing the loopholes which people will make on the excuse of Day of Judgment. So the conclusion is, we were born knowing. We were born testifying. We were born with the truth already built inside us. The question is, did me and you silence the truth when it was ringing? Did we bury the truth under slogans, traditions, nationalism, modernism, or even convenience? This is a trial. And even the most worst thing is that this fitra which is inside us is going to call as evidence on the Day of Judgment. Just imagine that. So, to all those people who say that I wasn't there, I don't remember, the thing is that it's here in the fitra. The thing is that, did you bury it out of all the different isms, communism, capitalism, justification, all that thing, or you'll just follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put inside us, because the truth is already imprinted inside us. Did you bury it, or you followed revelation to add more and more light inside it? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.